Well, something completely cuckoo has happened. I'm going to try to be very, very calm about this. It is fortuitous, as fate would have it, with a certain serendipity or synchronicity, that Roger Stone, who spends maybe just a few days a month here in Austin, Texas, happened to be visiting today. In fact, he arrived this morning. He went home at about 5 o'clock, so did I, to see my family. He's here at my home right now. And I gave him a call to see how he was doing. He said, "Did you see the news? It just broke in the last few minutes." I said, "No." He said, Obama's lawyers, his top counsel, a group he set up when he left the White House, has sued President Trump and Roger Stone. So that's why we have the headline, Obama has sued, ladies and gentlemen, Roger Stone, and he has also sued President Trump. These are federal judges that have done this, that have signed on. It's incredible. And you have to understand, it's not like they sued him for something he said or did. It's the whole Russian narrative again, just like they keep claiming they physically hacked the election. Now they admit that's not true. Their whole big story is one person tied into Soros and Obama, this Russian lady, went and had a 15-minute meeting with Donald Trump Jr. So they have sued him, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, with this backdrop, the Democratic leader of the Federal Elections Commission has sent a letter to Congress talking about the criminal investigation of myself, Breitbart, and Drudge, counter-espionage investigation that Obama launched before he left, that is ongoing in the deep state shadow government. And they said they want me hauled before Congress and investigated for getting my money from Russia. I can speak maybe 5 words of Russia. Babushka, I think means grandmother. Vodka, we know what that is. I can say Moscow. I mean, I've studied some of the history of it. To claim that is insane. So this is clearly their tactic. Intimidate, attack, create witch hunt trials, which just keep the process going, and the public thinks, well, there must be something if they're suing people. The plaintiffs are folks in WikiLeaks. So Roger Stone's going to walk through this. He's the guy being sued. But tell everybody you know watching on Facebook and on Twitter, and of course at InfoWars Nightly News, that has expanded coverage tonight, Infowars.com/show, that this is happening. At least hear what Roger Stone being sued by Obama. I mean, even the New York Times, Politico, Obama's lawyers formed worst-case scenario group to tackle Trump. This is 6 months ago with the Stay Behind networks and the leakers. Soros-tied Obama lawyers formed group to battle Trump. This is, again, Politico right here. Why the Project Democracy is representing victims of election hacking, which they just state as fact that Roger Stone is behind. So I'm going to turn this over to Roger to break some of this down for you guys watching tonight. But this shows desperation. Roger was exuberant, and so was I tonight, and I appreciate him coming over to my house from his hotel after a long day to break this to you exclusively first. Okay, so this is exclusively what Roger Stone saying, not what the fake media is saying. We're going to walk through all of this, but in the history of jurisprudence, this is the greatest witch hunt ever seen, literally beyond nothing burger, and just shows how vitriolic and disconnected they are. I mean, they still have Hillary as the face of the Democratic Party in 2018. They have Pelosi, who thinks George W. Bush is still president, doddering around. So I think in many ways this is really, really, really good news. But if we don't counter them, though, I wonder what new levels of defamation, slander, and libel they're going to engage in, Roger.
Well, Alex, this lawsuit that was filed on behalf of 3 donors to the Democratic National Committee alleges that I conspired with the Trump campaign to hack the Democratic National Committee emails and therefore have published through WikiLeaks, I guess, personal information which exposes their clients to danger. What's interesting about this is that in the header of the lawsuit, they include my home address in Florida, which is unheard of in the legal community, and which my lawyers were astounded about. An obvious attempt to incite violence against me.
Just like Scalise.
What's even more interesting, though, is there is not an iota of evidence, not a shred of evidence that I had any advanced knowledge or involvement in the hacking of the Democratic National Committee emails, if they were even hacked. This is a particularly poorly written complaint They can't even prove that the emails were hacked, never mind that they were hacked by Roger Stone or anyone involved in the Trump campaign. It's not coincidental that they dropped this phony lawsuit just days before my testimony in front of the House Intelligence Committee, Alex. This is a smear job. But the problem is they picked a fight with the wrong guy. You see, I like a good fight. I have no problem with that. Every single lawyer on this list will be pursued, and sanctions will be sought because they have wasted the court's time and precious resources with a completely phony, frivolous, and a lawsuit that is entirely without merit. They can't even prove that the emails of the DNC were hacked, period, by anyone, since the Democratic National Committee won't let anyone examine their
21 times they wouldn't let Jeh Johnson, Homeland Security, and the FBI, the NSA, and let's just add, they have no standing under classical law. They have no proof. They have no connection. WikiLeaks is bipartisan, cut its teeth going after George W. Bush. Assange has said it's not Trump. It's not you. You've never said that. I mean, this is beyond any fraud we've ever seen. So here's the big question before we go through all this. Who did it? We're going to go over that. We're talking Democrat judges, you name it, are running this lawsuit pro bono. All former Obama people. Why did they do it? And what are we going to do about it? And again, they launched the FEC complaint on me. Federal Elections Commission, the same folks that threw Dinesh D'Souza in prison for 1/1,000,000th, what the Clintons did, saying they're seeking criminal investigations, which are ongoing, for us taking Russian money. Literally insane asylum level garbage, ladies and gentlemen. This investigation of yours truly has been going on for at least 6 months. Our phones are admittedly tapped. They know none of this is true. They're trying to intimidate you and change the subject away from the crimes they committed. Even Forbes today said, is Russiagate really Hillarygate? That's on our Twitter at Real Alex Jones. And the answer is absolutely. They're the ones up at their eyeballs with Russia, above their heads with China, and it's all coming out. Go ahead, Roger.
So let's look at the lawyers behind this suit. Ian Basin is a former top attorney in the Obama White House. Van Nest and Peter's partner, Stephen Hirsch, former federal judge and Harvard professor Nancy Gertner, and Richard Primus, a professor at the University of Michigan. Every one of you will be sanctioned. Every one of these attorneys will be humiliated in court by putting their name on a specious document that is completely without merit or any foundation in fact. They fall back on the same tired arguments again that Stone knew about the hacking of the DNC documents because I predicted it, consistent with a WikiLeaks tweet of July 31st, meaning I can read. This is a partisan attack.
That's right. You wrote articles about WikiLeaks stuff days after it came out. I mean, Hillary, when she attacked me a month ago, said within an hour of WikiLeaks releasing a new document, InfoWars had already covered it. Yes. We crowdsource, it goes out, millions were at that time would pile on during the campaign, read it. Paul Watson would then write an article about it. That's what news people do, is get scoops. Like when a plane crashes, if you've ever been in a newsroom and the news comes in, everyone scrambles, falling over each other, because whoever gets it out first gets the big scoop. That's what it's called, dumbasses. And again, it makes me realize how coddled and controlled and addled these Democrats are. Because Republican establishment's not really bad, but they're well-oiled, focused swine at the top. With the Democrats, it's like bumbling dum-dums from some planet moron where they get lobotomies at birth, running around in circles, because it's all on the timelines. Even Philadelphia, even the Associated Press, even Big News did the analysis and said Roger Stone reported WikiLeaks after it was out. Roger Stone always said he was trying to get a hold of Assange, like everyone else. Roger Stone never said the things they're saying, but they keep doubling down. So here's my question before you get more into this. Clearly, it's a publicity stunt ahead of your testimony coming up, which you've been relishing, saying you wouldn't testify in private, you want it public. Clearly, they know their whole thing's disintegrating. They played everything they've got, so they want to have it in the news that they've sued you and President Trump. You, though, I know, even though you're angry at what frauds they are, you like this fight. They have really, really stepped in it.
Well, let me be very clear. Attorneys Basin, Hirsch, Gertner, and Primus, you are involved in a fraud upon the court. You will be punished. You will be exposed. Not only will we move for immediate dismissal, I will ask the court for sanctions, but I will be filing a countersuit against every one of you for defamation. You have nothing. This is a poorly drawn complaint that is only going to draw your public humiliation. You picked the wrong guy. If you're looking for a settlement, you picked the wrong guy. Now you've got to fight. Mr. Basin should be disbarred on the basis of this complaint. Frivolous, fraudulent, phony, without evidence, without a shred of evidence. You can't even prove the DNC documents were hacked by anyone, never mind the involvement of the Trump campaign or yours truly. This is going to be fun because, Alex, there's nothing better than beating the crap out of a bunch of self-important liberal punks who think they're important just because they went to law school. And I particularly enjoy taking a chunk out of the ass of a former federal judge who had the bad judgment to put his name on this piece of